we are live once again. Looks like we're up. It's up. Yeah, probably. Seems like it's working. Once again, we are going to be building this game, Stoke Fire. So we've got work to do. So thank you for joining in. If you're going to join in, I'm going to explain what I'm going to be working on during the stream, and then we're going to try to make it happen. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing, let me know. Reply wherever you're at. Reply. So I've been working on this mobile game, Stoke Fire. You can see it here in the simulator. Actually, can you see it? It's still showing you this. Weird. Oh, it's like my screen is frozen. Let's see if I move here and then we go back to that scene. It's still showing you this base scan page. Why is that? That doesn't seem right. Is that what it shows you? That's what it shows you everywhere. I'm seeing that on YouTube too. Huh, weird. I have to check OBS to see what's going on here. Desktop, don't view that. Oh, look, my comments are behind there. That's where the chat has been all these years. Oh, now you can see some chat. Cool. But that doesn't fix that this screen is broken. Maybe I need to like re-add this again. All right, technical difficulties. Maybe I can fix this, but then we will get to actually working. Display capture. Actually working on this app, and I have to tell you about it still. So yeah, it's like it's not connected. It's like my, oh wait, maybe now. Okay. Aha, now you can see that. I just like reset it. Okay, you should be able to see that now. So you can see my code, you can see whatever I'm going to. Okay, so the app we're working on is Stoke Fire. So this is a mobile app I've been working on. And really quickly, kind of the whole idea is that you have to chop wood, you got to get resources, you got to get food. And at the end of every 3 days, you have to stoke this fire because your village, they really depend on the fire. If the fire goes out, then your whole village dies. And so you have to stoke the fire. The Stoke Fire is also kind of like a checkpoint. It's like when you click this, it will kind of tell you, oh, you're going to get, this is kind of small for you to see probably, but you'll get another score point. You'll get some villagers. Villagers move into your huts when you stoke fire, and they eat food. So since I have 4 villagers, when I stoke fire, I'm going to lose 4 food because my villagers just ate. But then, we can build huts. Let's build a hut here because we've got 16 wood. It costs 10 wood to build a hut. So yeah, that's kind of cool. We got another hut. And then let's go ahead and stoke fire. Look, we're now going to get somewhere from 6 to 7 points and plus 6 villagers because we have more huts to house the villagers. So you got to build your huts to house the villagers. Let's stoke the fire. This will give us another 3 days to continue growing. And so look, we got 6 score, 6 villagers, 4 food. We're really cooking now. The fire is really cooking. And so what I added last was these relations. This tab on relations, this is where all the battle stuff takes place. And kind of to review this really quickly, basically how the battles work is you can choose which of your resources, wood or food, that you want to defend. And every 6 hours, someone else can try to steal your resources. If they choose the resource that you are defending, my food in this case, then they lose, and you'll actually take some of their resources randomly. You'll get a random amount. But since I just, it says I'm defending food here, if the attacker steals my wood, then they win. They get to actually steal the wood. So you are playing around with, there's some game theory of like, okay, what resource is important to me right now? Which one do they think is important to me? Or which one do they think I'm going to defend or not? And there's a little bit of a game of that. It's kind of a simple battle. And right now, this is all on test, by the way. I can go, okay, he has 0 food. He has some wood. So if I steal the food, I'm going to get nothing. There's nothing to steal. Um, Also, he's not defending right now. So I can steal his wood and I'll get a 55% chance of just stealing it because he's not defending. And look at that. We stole some wood. We got 2 more wood. We're in the game. But if he was defending, because he has to make that choice to defend something, then you have that kind of little game going on. So what we need to do now, we've got like this little game loop here already. We've got a little game loop that's hopefully fun. You're having interactions with your friends, but we need something to kind of know what's going on here a little bit more. We need to know like what's happening. So a lot of the strategy is kind of like what has the other players done before, how they done battles before, and who won before, what did they choose, and that can maybe help you know what decisions to make going forward into the future. So that's what we're going to do in this live stream is we need to work on an activity tab. So we got these 3 tabs. We want to add another one, activity, and it's just going to show everything that's happening. Right now, it's just going to be completely global. It's just going to show all the global events, activity that's happening in the game. So you can people can go through and see what's actually happening. And so what this will kind of look like is here we're on base scan. So all of these interactions that I just showed, they all are happening on the blockchain. And which is kind of cool. Like all these things are happening here. It was just kind of funny. You can see these functions. Someone committed their defense, so they chose to defend something. Someone gathered food. They revealed the battle results. They attacked a village. It's just, every few minutes or hour, people are making actions, which is really cool to see. To me, this is cool because all this stuff lives on the blockchain, which means these data points of people taking an action is there forever. Like they attacked a village that will always be there. Anyone can go see that. You can go see how many villages they attacked, who they attacked, and it's just on the blockchain. I just think that's a cool thing about the blockchain. And that's why I'm interested in crypto stuff. But it's also just funny, I think, to see these kind of actions happening on a blockchain where it's like, oh, someone attacked a village, they gathered food, they're doing these things, and it's just kind of funny that you can see this on the blockchain. But these are the actions that we're going to show in our activity feed. We're going to see these things happening. And I have, okay, so I guess I'll stop there. Any questions that anyone has, now's the time. Ask those questions. Let me see if I'm even live over here on Viber. I'm on Viber as well as YouTube. So if you like going over to those places better, you can go check over there. Yeah, so I think I posted to all the places. Maybe I'll post again that I'm live over here on Warpcast. Let's see. Cast that out. Okay, so sweet. This is the database. So this is my indexer is what it's called. It's indexing all these events. And so we're going to make a query. This is saved in a database, and we need to make a query to get all those events so that then we can show them on our front end, like in the app. So we're going to need to make a really big query. And then we're going to have some kind of like processing function that will turn all of these events into something readable, turn them into like little summary strings that users can read. Kevlev says, I never have any idea what you're talking about when building, but I enjoy listening in. Is that bad? Does that mean that I'm like very confusing with how I explain things? Or ask a question. Like what is something that I could explain? Like what don't you understand? I do see that it's hard with streams where it's like you just jump in you just jump into a stream and then you're just kind of like, what is this person talking about? Um, yeah, because I'm in the middle of something, and so you kind of have to like go back. So if there's something, do you understand the game though? I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping that you could. You don't. I'm hoping that you don't have to maybe know how to code or know software stuff to understand this game of like building a village, um, making battles. Hopefully, this is pretty straightforward. That would be the hope. Um, yeah, the coding part. That makes sense. The coding part. But maybe you can glean something from the coding part, um, to learn something. So let's see. Where should we start first? I think the first thing we could start is trying to make a query to get some of these events. Um, and I'm going to use, to start out at least, I'm going to use our friendly AI assistant, which I've been using AI more and more. It's amazing. It actually works. It's pretty cool. So we're going to use that to try to make this work. So I have my indexer here, and here, I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can maybe see. So we have our schema. So this is what basically is defining all the tables of our database. And I'm basically going to make a query for all these events. So let's see what we can do. Make a graph, query to our ponder, and it knows the documentation. So I can add the documentation so that it hopefully knows how ponder works and knows how these schemas work. However you say schema, I'm not really sure. Make a GraphQL query to our ponder database API. It's really API that collects all of the events in our schema. We're just gonna hope that it knows which ones are events, because some of these are not events. Like if you can see here, like our village, that's actually just the state of the village, or our player, that's not an event. That's not an event. But a lot of these, like Mint Village, Stoke, Chopwood, a lot of these are events. So hopefully it can kind of pick those out. And pulls all the data from each event. It should order them chronologically by their time. Each of these events has a different time, like time gathered food, time chop wood. We're gonna to make a list of all of our activities that's like chronological order. Okay, let's see how this works. Hey JP, I see you in the Viber chat. Sweet. All right, what did we get? Chronologically, so we got Mint Villages, Stokes, order direction, that should be right. Order by, time mint. So these things are both good. What we'll be able to do is actually check this and see if it actually works. We got chop woods, build huts, gather foods, raise stoke fires, commit defenses. I think that's is actually most of them. Did they all get the player though? Because they each event comes with a player, so we know who actually did this event, which will be important to show in our summary. So we have that data. It looks like we're getting that. So something that is doing wrong right now is it doesn't have items in this query. I'm pretty sure. So like here, we can go over here. So if we're just going to do something like this, yeah, it should have a call to items. So maybe we can tell our AI that this info, that the query should look like this. And then hopefully it'll fix it up. should use items to get the data. Here is an example of one of them. Can you fix it? And we'll see, hopefully that will help. What AI, what do you do? Outsource or spend hours more learning? Without AI, what do you do? Uh-oh. Looks like we just hit some limit with AI. So maybe we're gonna answer this question. What if I have no more limits? 50 free requests. You can continue by subscribing to Pro or entering your OpenAI key in settings. Otherwise, you can stay on our free plan. Cursor smaller requests per month. You know, so I've been trying Cursor to answer that question. I've been trying Cursor for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So if I didn't have this, what I would do is I have 2 options, I guess. One, you just go look at the documentation yourself. So really it's replacing, for me, it's replacing some Google searches I would do. Like I would maybe go search how does this thing work? How do you do this? And then you'd get like Stack Overflow answers that kind of maybe answer some things. Or a lot of times what I do, I just go directly to the documentation. Like I would just go to the Ponder documentation, which has documentation about how to do the indexing, and you just kind of find the answers. The cool thing about this is it's like you can talk to the documentation and you can just be like, hey, how do you just do this? Using the documentation, how do you write this? And then you can kind of copy that, paste it into your code. And you're kind of learning as you go a little bit. I think it's, for a software developer, it's always good to know, how systems work. And so looking at documentation at some point, like I've looked at the Ponder documentation, I've looked at the Expo documentation. That's also what I'm using. So to answer .NET Dad's question, languages and frameworks, using TypeScript for all the front end and back end code, using Solidity for smart contracts that the game uses. And then frameworks, I'm using Expo and React Native to make the mobile app here. Expo just makes it really nice. Really enjoying Expo. Kind of the first time using Expo in a long time. Other frameworks, using a little bit of Next.js for a website, which I don't have much on the website yet. And then Ponder is kind of like an indexer that handles all the backend database stuff. It indexes the data from the smart contracts and then puts it in a database for us. So yeah, the hard thing would be, so this query that I'm just like letting AI write me, I would have to do that kind of by hand, basically. I probably would just like create the query in here, copy this, paste it into my code, and then like add all the different parts. But like it is kind of tedious because there's a lot to this query. Like there's going to be, I don't know, this is going to be like a 200 line query probably because there's just the different objects. So it makes those kind of things that are like simple little tasks, but it's just like a tedious thing to do. Yeah, it makes it a lot faster. So I've been using Cursor for maybe like 2 weeks now, and it's been great. So I am going to upgrade to Pro. I think it's time to do that. It took me to here. Let's see if we can do this. They've got a free, which we were on, unlimited completions. That's nice. 500 fast requests. Does that mean there's slower requests we have unlimited of? Okay. Save $48 to do yearly. We'll start out with this. JP also hit this roadblock and had to subscribe. All right, well, I'm not going to show you my credit card, so I'm going to move that out here and actually subscribe to this. I mean, they got me. They definitely got me. Whenever a tool gets you and they put up the paywall, but you're like happy to pay it, that's a good time. I'm happy to pay for this. Like it's making me faster for sure. and it's been a great experience. So I can't complain. Yes, you've got my money. Take it. Take my money. You've won. So I'm sure Cursor is going to do really well. Everyone's been talking about it on Twitter. And I'm just, yeah, I know they just raised a lot of money too. Let's see. Everything's looking good. You can't see my screen. You can only see my face, but right now I'm paying. I'm giving over my hard-earned money to Cursor. I hope that I don't run into more limitations of like usage. That would be kind of annoying. Then I guess I would have to go to like the Pro, more Pro. Subscribe, yes. And look at that. Now it just completed my request because I am now on Pro. Sweet. So I get 500 fast requests a month, I think. Man, probably go through that pretty fast. Probably in a week you could do 500 requests, I would think. Something like that. Let's see, JP says, I'm not 100% sure if I prefer Cursor or the conversation input, to be honest. Sometimes Cursor changes code without me knowing that it happened. Yeah, that is annoying. I think what I've found works with Cursor is you kind of have to ask it to do small amounts of things, and then you kind of review the green and red. But if it's too much that you're changing at once, it can be too much. I feel like there's more potential to have bugs and issues if you're just like letting it hack at your code and change all kinds of things. Okay, back to this. So this is what we need. We need items in here. So that is looking like this might be good now. See, look how big this query is that we just had Cursor. And it's possible that it still has issues. So let's copy this. Let's bring it over here. This is actually this api.stokefire.xyz. This is our production database here. But it's live and all this data is there. So it's wanting us to pass in a time. Let's see, why is that wrong? So it's order by, order direction, time mint. Does this have to have a string around it? Looks like it does. Okay, we can do that real quick for all these. Fix that up. Okay, it looks like the query, well, we've got this still. This needs strings too. Order direction ascending. So ascending, you always have to think about this. I think we want descending. We want to go from big to small so that at the top of the feed, you're seeing the recent thing first. Put all this in, we'll just paste these. Okay, and last one maybe. So whenever we add new actions and events, we're gonna have to update this query in the future. So that's, something to know, to take note of. Okay. My coffee is cold now. Hit play. And the query works. Look at that. We've got all these events. This is a big query. Lots of responses. I wonder if we need to add limits here as well. So this is raising 1, 2, 3. Probably can fit all the ones. Chop wood, 2, 3. Yeah, let's see if I go to ponder. So we're just going to jump to the docs. I want to see what are like my limits. By my default limits for a query, I guess. Doesn't show me there. GraphQL. Because eventually what we're going to need to do is need to implement pagination on this as well. So as they scroll, it's going to then request the next group of data. So, and it's possible, that makes this query a little weird as well, is since we're grabbing all these different events, it's possible that I could get some time mints that are happening before a Stoke that happens because there's more of these. And we don't want to necessarily place those in that order. Like, there could be more Stokes if we do the pagination that come before. So I'm not sure the best way to handle that. It's like each of these queries has their own pagination, which makes that a little weird. It's almost like we'd rather have a query for all this and then one pagination for it. So I don't know what's the best way to solve that. Thanks for stopping by. If you are, feel free to ask any questions of what I'm doing, and I will answer those. And it's possible that maybe we should do like a first version of this, and then we'll do like a second version later. It's also possible. So Ponder has this cool thing called API functions, where it's literally like a backend API. You can have gets and stuff like this. And so within our backend API, we could handle doing this query and maybe doing some of the processing to make it, I don't know, more efficient, or to kind of organize it so that we can handle some of the pagination stuff that I'm talking about better, instead of just right now the plan is have this huge query in our front end, and it's then going to handle the processing of it, organizing it, all of that. And so we could move it over and maybe handle it a little better. So, some good questions here. Yeah, I really don't know the best thing to do with the pagination. It might even be that I should try to split this up instead of do one big query. Yeah, I don't know if that's as efficient either. Is I could do like multiple queries and then basically do the pagination up to a certain time and make sure that each of these events, I'm getting all the events to a certain time and then organizing them all, because I'm going to like interlace these different events all together. And then at that point, I know like I have everything. And that might be where having this all in a API function could be valuable, because it might just be like faster access directly to the database instead of me making like tons of requests. So there might be something there. Hey, Johnny Depp, when can you play the game? Well, so you can play now, actually. I have like 20 people playing the game right now, which is pretty fun. They're all making actions and doing things. They're building their villages. My phone is kind of broken. I have an iPhone 10, and so the only way I can charge it is on like the charging pad, like on the back. The cord does not work to connect this phone anymore. Because if it did, I could actually show you my phone on the screen, and like you could see actual what's happening in the game, people playing. Right now, I can gather food, so I'm going to gather some food. I have 50 villagers in my village, and I've got 13 huts, and I've got a score of 52. But I don't know if you can see this, but there's 20-ish people in here all playing, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you want to play, right now it's only on iOS and it's in a test flight. And so I have this like hypersub, it's called. It's kind of like an early access. You have to subscribe to it because I kind of want people that are kind of showing a little bit of like skin in the game to join right at this point so I can get feedback and stuff. So it is like $13 to join it. But it, it's supporting me. It's like a Patreon kind of. It's a crypto Patreon more or less. But if you join that, then you can join and start playing this early, and eventually we'll kind of open that up. But yeah, only on iOS right now. Eventually, I'm going to add Android. Oh, I see you're on Android. Sorry, Johnny. But later this week, my goal is to add Android. So we're going to add support for Android as well. And then that would be a good time to maybe join, which would be cool. So, yes. I'm trying to think the best way. Let's maybe research a little bit into these API functions because this might be the solution we need to go for. You can use them to customize the API layer, complex SQL queries. Oh, nice. You saw my short? Sweet. Yeah, I've been working on these shorts. I think the shorts are maybe a better way to kind of just, in a very quick snapshot, show kind of the progress I've made. And I can make them a little bit more professional looking because they're so short. It's a short video. Where I've done these live streams and just kind of like working live, and it's fun, but I doubt as many people want to stay on these for a long period of time, which is fine. But I'm just kind of doing this to kind of keep myself motivated, and it gives a little bit of accountability, when you're like have to be in front of people live and just like make progress, build things, make it happen. So yeah, glad that you found my short. Let's see. So we could do a direct SQL query if we wanted, and maybe that would be a good idea for this potentially to actually do a SQL query because we might be able to like bring everything in and handle the pagination stuff I was talking about. Middleware. We could even use Drizzle. It's kind of like helps you do the SQL queries. Nice. Studying computer science. That's great. I got a computer science degree, and I graduated from college about 7 years, a little over 7 years ago now. But yeah, it was great. Definitely recommend it. So I've done software stuff basically since then, and now run like my own businesses. And this is kind of my latest project is this game. So it's been fun working on it. This for me is a little bit more out there, like trying to make a game work, especially as a business kind of thing, is a little bit more risky, I guess. It's hard to make games that make money. But yeah, my other businesses are more kind of like online, like software businesses, and I own a website and stuff. Yes, I do know the CS50X course. I think I watched at least some of those from Harvard University. I didn't go through the whole thing or anything, but yeah. It's a good course from what I can tell. Okay, so here's like a query we could do a Drizzle. I think raw SQL would probably be our best here. And maybe we could even do all the pagination and filtering all by ourselves. with that, and I might try to have our AI make that for me, because we kind of want to like join these. I don't know. If we join, then we'd have to have field names that handle like all of the events, which probably doesn't make sense. We're probably gonna have to do that part in TypeScript, I would imagine. Turn this into a SQL query. The pagination and ordering the events by... Yeah, it probably doesn't make sense to have them all in one query, really. Because then you'd have to have like tables and stuff. But I'm curious to see what this will try to do. Could you handles the pagination, ordering the events by their times? Let's see what it does. Union all. Need to remember what union all. This is kind of nice. It's giving me like an event time that could give us at least some data that's easier to work with. Uses common table expression. Each event type is selected with a union all, including a literal, to identify the event type. The main query selects from this combined set. Okay, that's pretty cool. What would an example of data results from this look like? Just to see what this could look like here. Man, AI is cool. You could not do this that quick. Okay, so we're getting ID. So it's a union all. If I'm, my SQL is not the best. I don't use it that often. So I think it seems like a union all is only going to get the things that are similar here, which we need all the data. Event type, that's kind of cool. Puts it into types. Player D. What would be perfect? What would be perfect is if in the SQL we could also, well, that's not going to work, but we need the data, like we need strings. We basically just need strings that summarize each event. That's what we're actually going to show the user. So it's like if we could create those strings in the query, that would be awesome. Can you include the data from each event in the result of this query? Because this is nice that at least it puts all these events into a uniform type of data that we could actually handle. Let's see. So null as... I wonder why it's doing this null as. Oh. So it's actually going to create a row with all the possible fields that we have, and then everything else is just making null for that event. So this is wacky. That's not really what you would want, I don't think. I mean, look at this. We've got all these nulls. But it is an interesting solution, potentially. We at least have all the data, and it's like making like a new table for us as a result, and it has all the data, and then everything that we don't know for that kind of event is null. That's interesting. Yeah, it would make it very big. Be interesting if I could make the actual strings here in code instead of, which I think could be possible in SQL. It just would have to have a little bit of hard-coded like string output. Let's see if we can do it. For each event, can the query turn its data into a string? A readable string that shares its data instead of having a field in the resulting output for each event data. I don't know, that it's kind of confusing, but let's see if the AI the AI can figure it out. Player, what's it gonna do? Oh, nice. So player mint village as event description. So we're gonna have these event descriptions that it's creating. This could be interesting. From Stoke, Union All. This is potentially going to be our best solution, I think, because now we're not going to have to do any TypeScript processing on top of this query. We just get the strings we want, and we have them all ordered. We all have, it puts it into a table that's like this, where our UI just has to basically output these event descriptions. And we have the event types. We have the player ID, village ID. This could be good. This could be good. We're not there yet. Player gathered, Stoke Fire. But this is cool. This is showing how powerful AI is. One, I'm not great at SQL, but two, this is a huge query, and we're just like manipulating it by telling the AI what to do. And we're getting closer to what we want. This is very cool. And what's cool about this in the future is that we're for sure going to be adding more things you can do in the game, more events you can do. And so in the future, all we got to do is we're just going to have to add one of these queries, update one of these fields in the query, and then basically it just works. Like since we're outputting some default kind of fields that work for every event, our UI can just pick it up. They'll just start working in our UI. Where with the other solution I was considering of, just querying everything, and then our TypeScript having to then process each event, kind of turn it into something like this, we'd have more work every time we add an event. Where this, we just add our little select string for that new event here, and then just boom, it will just work. So I'm liking this. So am I still live on Vibra? I guess so. Looks like I am. Okay. So the next step to manipulate this, we need a little bit more info. So we got village ID. We need like the player name. So it's like we have the event description, but we kind of want separate the player. So we have already the player ID, but we kind of want separate the username and their PFP image so that we can show that as well. Also, these strings, obviously, they're not perfect. We're going to want to change those. Can you add an output row for, let's see, we'll call it player username and player PFP for each yeah. So we can use those when we describe the event description. Cool. If you're joining, let me know if you have any questions. We are making a game here. Okay. So player username. Cool. We're kind of like making some broad, wide strokes with the AI here to kind of get this query the way we want. And then, later we'll throw this into our actual code and we'll actually try to get something working here. So look at this. We got player PFV, player username. This is the player that did the action. That's the idea. So this is cool. We'll want to update these event descriptions. Is there anything we can do a broad stroke to get the AI to change? Wow, this reveal event, if this is actually correct, that would be pretty sweet because this event is harder to describe. There's multiple fields here and you can actually have multiple attacks. So that one could be difficult to kind of pull out here. All right, I think I'm going to say in the event description, can you remove saying the player or player name, because we can do that ourselves with the player username and player PFP. Just kind of describe what I'm trying to do so that hopefully it understands. We're trying to let our AI get what we're doing here. Okay. Still working on it. We're going to use our Cursor Pro quota in one day here with all this. Let's see what it's looking like. Chop 10 wood, gathered 15 food, stoked fire. Okay, this is cool. All right, so now what we could do is we could actually create our function. We could throw this in, and then we could run it against our live code and see what happens. Okay, so API functions, let's see if we get started with this. We are on 5.0. We need to create, let's move this over. It should still be there. Yeah, so we still have that. We're going to do new folder API. And then we can call it, I think, whatever, but you can register API functions, file name, directory. Okay, cool. So I think we can do, can we do our whatever file name we want? I think, hopefully. or maybe we have to create an index.ts and then I think it would go by path name. I'm pretty sure. No, it's not. It's not doing /API. Oh, you can register API function in any .ts file in the source API directory. Okay, so we have to put the naming of the path in here. It's not by file name. It's not like Vercel. Glad to hear it, Johnny Depp. Glad you're feeling happy. That's great. Love to hear it. So let's just make a file. What should we call this? We should call this global events. The main game code, all the logic for the game is actually in Solidity because the game actually runs on the blockchain. So all the logic is in Solidity, but then all like the UI, everything kind of surrounding that is in TypeScript. So yeah, so it's global events.ts is what we'll call this. And then this will be a getter, make it like this, and we'll just do global events. That sounds good. Send a request. This is ours too. Let's just make sure we're running. So this is our indexer here. And we can just run this in the browser. Global events, not found because we can't spell. Hello world, there we are. We made it. That's cool. Okay, so now we need to try to make this actual query. So if we go back to our docs here, direct SQL, display tables. Maybe it shows me a little bit better here. Send a request, create the database. I think that there should be in here, if I remember right. There should be a way to access like raw SQL. Probably with Drizzle has a way to do it. Excuse me. So we'll probably do something like this. Let's check out Drizzle. Postgres. Partial, yada, yada. See if we say raw SQL. And yeah, something like this. So we make our query, do an execute, and that should be what we can do here. So if we go back, let's get Drizzle set up. Yada, yada. Oh, here we go. To run raw SQL, it shows us right here. So we can import this from Ponder and then have something like this. Make this async. And then you get like rows. And we can kind of see what that looks like. Okay, so that's going to be kind of what the sequel is going to look like. So maybe before I just throw our huge query, let's just do like select all from, what's one of our tables? Mint Village. Just see if we can get some output here. String unknown. We don't know what our type is, I guess. The Lhasa Road Candle here. The last yada yada. Probably not returning the correct thing. They're returning text of something. So if I like return that, will it then be happy? I think so. No? Has this, I've not used these before, but it looks like we can return with C, we can return stuff. C dot JSON. Oops. DB redirect request. Maybe I have to do text. Yeah, so that we have to do something with C to return stuff. Maybe we do C.json results. Happy with that? Yeah? Okay. So now let's see if we can actually get that to work. No. Still showing us hello world. Let's see. Is this working? It's on. Let's console.log result. What are we even getting here? Getting nothing, it looks like. Looks like it finally is loading that. We're getting nothing. Oh yeah, Mint Villages. Still getting nothing. Sorry, so let's check here. So it might be a lowercase m villages, potentially, is what we need now. No such table. So that means we had the right table before. So it is uppercase. So that means we're matching our schema here. So table names are all matching this. Mint Village. And then you do a plural, I think, if you want multiple. Maybe. Not sure. What's wrong thing here? Just kind of trying to figure this out on the fly here. Nothing. We should have something here. Okay, so yeah, no plural. Okay, good to know. Let's see, do we have anything in our chop wood? Not getting anything. It's not what I would expect here. All right, let's close this, restart. See if that helps us. So look, we got all these events. So we should have 9 chop wood events here. And there we go. We got them. Maybe it was just the indexer wasn't actually working. Okay, cool. So we can get data now. We can do a query. So, and this is just going to list them. So returning a JSON result is probably what we want. And so then really all we need is our huge query. So if I go back here and find this, let's copy it. It's going to be huge. Let's comment this out. And we'll do const result equals await c.db.execute SQL this. And then we just paste that huge thing in here. We'll be surprised if this actually works first try. Okay. Because most likely there will be errors. Most likely our AI did something wrong. But let's see. Missing name parameters occurred while handling GET requests. Name parameters. SQLite error. So we're missing something. Let's see if the AI knows what we did wrong here, or what it did wrong. We're blaming him. Let's see what it has to say. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge, Johnny Depp. Very huge. Okay, I apologize for the oversight. Yeah, you better say sorry. So this could be interesting. We're using SQLite on our local database here, but we're using Postgres on our production. So I don't know how different that changes these kind of queries. It might be different. A lot of times there's some little differences and whatnot. So it's saying the paging is different for SQLite maybe. So that could potentially cause us issues. We'll see. When we go to production, that could cause us issues, but I'm not sure. Save that. Now let's see. Too few parameter values were provided. Okay. Let's see if the AI knows this one. So I'm not exactly sure what that means completely. Wonder what they changed here. Oh, this? Did they change? They're adding these back maybe, which I think makes sense. Okay, if we hit apply. Whoops. that will handling all that for us. So we'll see. This might work. Apply. There we go. It's working on it. Removing all that. And this. Accept. Save. Oh, ho, ho, look at that. It just works. It just works. Boom. That's what I say. Boom. It works. So we're potentially getting some weird data here. We're getting like zeros. Well, that's for event ID. It's like turning it into some kind of huge value where we really just care about the one number. Yeah, it worked. It worked, Johnny. Look at these huge values. It's like making big integers. Hey, look at that. We've got, oh yes, we've got the PFPs coming in. So here's one of the PFPs. That's pretty cool. So it's actually getting the correct there. It's getting the correct usernames. It's getting the event type. Event time. Yada yada. No, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I need those values for the future. Which values? You're talking about these IDs and stuff? Let's see. Can you change? Hey, maybe this game will be popular. We'll see. It's kind of what's inspired me is Age of Empires 2. If you played that, that's a different category game, but definitely lots of inspiration with the economy stuff there. And then I'd say a little bit of Clash of Clans, because Clash of Clans is like a mobile game where you're kind of building up something. This is going to be mobile, so there's some similarities there. There's another game called A Dark Room. Have any of you heard of that? Hey Kev, yeah, Age of Empires, classic. So yeah, definitely a lot. I've been playing Age of Empires a lot the last 2 months to just kind of get a lot of inspiration from it. A Dark Room, Johnny's played that? That is a great game, made by a solo dev, and it has some cool cooldown and kind of playing effects. And that's what I'm kind of doing with this. You see there's a cooldown for each resource and thing that you go do, which is kind of fun. Event syntax. It's trying to fetch something. I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see, is people messaging me on Warpcast? Johan. Okay, let's tell our AI, can you make all of the response fields return numbers instead of the big integers that are coming out as strings? Okay, let's see if we can do that. ID, mint time, player ID, voter ID. Okay, it's casting those. That seems right. This is where it starts to get if the AI is wrong, it can really be kind of annoying to go back and forth. I think, think this will work though. I don't want to lose our huge query here that we have made so much progress on. Yeah, so event time, player ID, village ID, those should all be numbers. Should be good. So we will go ahead and apply. It's always a little nerve-wracking with a huge, when you're letting it just hack away at lots of stuff. Okay. Seems good. Let's accept. And I think we can always do Command Z to really get out of that. But let's see what this is looking like now. Is it working? Are we running? Are we working? Come on. Getting the same right now. So we're casting event time. As integer, as event time. Should be, I would think that would do it. And then we're selecting all those at the end. All events, yeah, each thing. Let's just restart this to make sure the change is going through. As Johnny mentioned, yes, good thinking. Great minds think alike. See, I think our indexer just messed up there. It's like it didn't index the events. So there we go. See, it should be popping up like that. So now we have everything. Okay, so it worked. It got the event times, got player ID, village ID, but these in the strings are still kind of messed up. We don't really even want these in there, I don't think, because saying in village, it's obviously in their village. So let's just see if we can remove. Can you remove mentioning the village and its ID in the event description? Because we have the info with the player name and stuff. So this should just update these event descriptions. Okay, apply that. Takes a moment here. There we go. Yeah, it's removing the ID stuff. So that's what we want. That seems good. Why did you change to times page number? Doesn't seem right. Page size. Why would you just do that? It's like, see, that's where it's like, that's kind of that's like wrong. Except you always got to watch that AI. He seems right until he just tries to sneak a little bug in there. Is it really going to make me restart? Why? Why is it not updating that right away? It should update that right away. There we go. Work you indexer. Okay. Now, boom. There we go. This is just, I just cannot be happier with how this is turning out. I mean, we have this complex data set and we're just turning it with this query into just something simple that is just amazing. And yeah, I like it. So people will be able to see, oh, they minted a village. And we'll be able to maybe show a different icon for each event type. That will be cool. We'll be able to show like when it happened with the event time. Be able to show their PFP. SQL magic. Making something complex simple. That's what we like to see. So it will actually make the UI look like it will be like show the PFP, their username. So in brag, built one hut using -10 wood. We probably can remove some of those things and we can clean some of that up. So let's see. So we don't really care to say that. Let's go through each of these and just kind of by hand try to clean these up. Minted a village. We don't care about the name. So I think we can just get rid of that. Add a period. So they minted a village. Stoke Fire. Did it show the address? Here's a Stoked Fire. Man, this is just good. Stoked Fire. What if we can even, and we don't want to. I was thinking, so I'm using like emojis for right now. Eventually, so right now I'm using emojis for the different resources and things that are going on. Eventually those are going to actually be images. So I was actually thinking I could, in the query, actually like put these emojis in. But I don't think I want to do that. We'll just keep it wood, food. We'll keep it the text. And later we'll actually maybe replace those with images. And that will probably be TypeScript side. So, let's just add a I think we can hopefully add a period here. So we have a period. What else do we want to change this one? Can we do and? Have an and? Grammatically correct and 0 villagers. That seems good. Okay, chop wood. Chopped wood. How much wood? We'll tell them that. That seems good. Gathered so much food. Built. In brag, built so many huts. It's always going to be one hut right now. And it always uses 10 wood. So I don't think we care to say that at this time. In brag built a hut, one hut. We can keep it in. Maybe in the future you can do multiple. I don't know. So we'll just keep that one hut. We'll get rid of this. People can just know how much wood that costs. So this one, raising the fire, this is actually when a village is destroyed because they did not stoke the fire. So how it works, if you don't stoke the fire within 3 days, then you lose. Your village just automatically out, dead. You have to keep stoking. So then what happens is this event comes by and it's kind of like just a bot that's like going through on the blockchain and it's just basically killing off those villages that have gone past time. And so it's like raised by address. That's kind of interesting to show the address, maybe. So it'd be in Bragg's village was raised and burned. By address, and the address that did it. I think that's cool. All these are going to be lowercase. Now that I think about it, because we'll put the username in front. Committed their defense. Inbrag committed their defense. Yeah. Let's see. Inbrag raided village. Attempted to steal resource. What's that actually look like? To steal 1 resources. We want to know how much wood they attempted to steal. Maybe we'll have the AI do that. Raided village attempted. We'll just do tried to steal blank wood. We'll change that to like wood or something, or food. Reveal battle. Inbrag revealed battle. Yeah, so it doesn't really do that quite right. This one's a little bit more complex. Maybe we'll come back to it. Okay. So I think we're to a point where maybe we should try to commit this on whatever branch we're at on. Just that we have this saved, and then we going forward we can update a couple of these still, but we know we have something good. We have something working here. So let's actually do this on a different branch. I think we're going to get this done today. I think today we're going to push this to the app. We're going to have a new activity feed on the app. It's going to be sweet. All right, commit added the initial activity SQL query. All right, we've got that. Let's now see. Here, I'll switch over my camera. Let's see what's happening on the Stoke Fire game here. Looks like I can't chop wood yet. I can't gather food. Not able to attack yet. I can be attacked in 43 minutes. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll still be live. I'm not sure. Any questions, let me know. Let's see if anyone's over here. Oh, did I get a problem here? Let's see. Maybe we have a problem. Ooh, Skippy had some thoughts. Tap here. All right, let's just review this. I think he would be fine with us looking at this. He was watching the stream a little earlier. Okay, so he says, writing this with 2 main thoughts in mind. Crypto's best use case is getting rich. FriendPet's prize pot could pay out more often. Yeah, they have a prize pot over there. I think that how that works is mostly from their liquidity rewards. I haven't actually seen it. I think maybe that's coming, some different actions, give that to the prize pot. Tap here for wood or food pop-up. Create stick for 5 wood and 5 food. Do this before cooking. Cook 1 food for 1 stick. For both these events, there is a $1 and time cost. Example, $1. It costs 10 tokens to complete each event. Example time, stick and food claimable for 20-second period. The claimable period randomly happens within 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Player must be watching the timer and claim within that 20 seconds or their stick and food burns to ash. This time countdown would be sponsored by other teams. The money. Wow, I like this idea, Skippy. The idea of bringing some other revenue potentials into this, of like having teams sponsor something. That's actually really cool. I like the idea of that, of like bringing in sponsors or basically just another revenue sort of thing that could be rewarding people. And, if we get Stoke Fire to a point where we've got active players, we got people coming back every day, which right now we have 20 people that so far it's working. Like people are coming back every day to stoke their fire, to build their village, which is pretty sweet. And so, yeah, like bringing in another revenue sort of thing could be really cool to kind of help sponsor things. So, I don't exactly get this idea completely. They've got to watch something, sounds like. Stick and food claimable for a 20-second period. The claimable period randomly happens within 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Player must be watching the timer and claim within the 20 seconds, or their stick and food burns to ash. This time countdown would be sponsored by other teams. $1 cost and any sponsor money would go into a pot. So each time a player makes a stick or cooks food, 10 tokens would enter the pot plus 10 tokens paid by the sponsor. The $1 pot would pay out weekly. Each leaderboard spot would give the leaders a certain number of lotto tickets for the pot. Each cooked food item would give the player a lotto ticket for the pot. Okay, so some interesting ideas. I think there's something there. I think there's something there we could kind of bring into this. I think it's an interesting idea. I like the sponsor idea. So I think the idea with the timing is that you're kind of like forcing them to view something, and they're forcing to view the sponsor thing. Let's see. Johnny's asking, is there a friend system? There is not right now. Currently, the game works through something called Farcaster, and that's what this Warpcasts app is. And that's kind of when you sign in with Farcaster, which you already have kind of like a social media kind of identity attached to that, and that's what we're using in the game right now. I'm pretty active on Farcaster. Farcaster is kind of like Twitter, but there's a little bit more like some crypto people and stuff like that on here. But it's a very interesting product, and they've gotten up to like 500,000 users. I think right now the active users is a lot smaller. But anyways, I'm starting out the game kind of building around this community, and you have to like sign in with, you've got to sign in with your Farcaster account currently. And I'm not sure how long I'll have that, but that's kind of what I'm doing currently as we kind of get this game kind of off the ground. So the people that are playing it currently are all Farcaster people. So hopefully that makes sense, Johnny. I definitely need to add some kind of friend system. Maybe it's like you can invite people in and you can trade with them. So there'll be different aspects of it that will kind of have like a friend kind of thing, a friending kind of thing. Yeah, I like the idea. Okay. Let's get back to, we want to update a couple things to the query. We want to update we wanted to update the attack, I believe. Let's just search for raid and minted, build hut, commit defense, attack village. So let's do this, and let's say update the string to include which resource was stolen, wood or food. Wood is value 0 and food is value 1. Let's see if it can figure that out. So resource to steal food. I think that's right. Cool. Get this running again. Thanks everybody for joining. Yeah, I agree, JP. AI is definitely kind of a big, kind of changes things for sure. For coding. I think it's because obviously developers are the ones making AI and making it work. And so that's what they know how to do. They know how to code so they can make the AI learn to code. All right, raided the village and tried to steal food resources. Let's get rid of resources here. And just do a period here. Wood there. Okay, that's looking good. And then the other one we're going to try to see if we can fix is bathered. We want gathered. Was the reveal? Here we go. Revealed battle. So right now, it's kind of saying okay, let's see. Can you update this string to show which resource was exchanged? 0 for wood, 1 for food, and how many of it was exchanged. You should also say the username of the player that won. Yeah. That should hopefully fix it. Okay, accept. Revealed bad resource exchange. Instead of resource exchange, we should just be like the username. Let's see what it's doing right now. Let's see. So we'll do winner, select username. I think this. We'll put that here and then do or. We could put the @ here for the username. And this person won. So this person... You know what? Before I do this myself and just mess something up, let's try... Let's see. The string should be formatted like this, for example. Revealed battle in brag 1, let's say 5 wood. Let's say I think that'd be pretty much it. Yeah, there's definitely more info with this that could potentially be better / helpful. Let's see. Select username 1, amount of resources exchanged, and we'll put a period here, period there. Oh wait, it did that down here already. Except that's looking pretty good. Let's see if this actually updated. Ooh, it's null. Something did not work there. As event description. Do we have any more that worked? No, they're all null. Okay, why would that be? Maybe this is wrong now. Player. We should be able to get this from the username, because this has a username. p.username. So I think I can remove this and do rb.usernames. So the hard thing is this handles like lists of battles, because you could reveal multiple battles that have completed. Most times it's just one. And so we'll have to figure out a better way to do that. But for now, maybe if we just support one in this, that might be okay. Wondering if... what is it? Let's go over to our schema here. Schema. Attacker usernames. That's what we want. Actually, we don't really know. We only have winner village IDs, and that's why it did the request. Yeah, that's better. Let's do that. So that's null. Why is that happening? Let's see what if it knows. Integer, but its name suggests it might be storing multiple IDs. We're trying to get username from the player. Change as the following. We join the player in village tables to get the correct player usernames based on the village ID. So you can see that as integer. Join villager. We still cast integer, assuming it contains a single village ID. If it contains multiple IDs, you might need to adjust this further. I see why they're doing player here. You know, what we could do, this will be better. So this should have player data already. Let's see. It's doing the wrong village ID here. Let's see. We want attacker player ID. We don't know who won though. That's the problem. We could know based on the attacker village ID, defender village ID, compare that with winner village ID, and then pull the name. Maybe it's kind of a little bit complicated. But yeah, we're querying players from a village ID. So it's going to come up null there. We really should do, well, let's see, was it correct here? Join village. I think that actually might work because it's doing a join. Try to apply that, except. Nope, still null. Still null because we're doing a select username from player P, join village on p.id equals village.player.id, where village.e ID has integer. I would think that would work. Let's see what the AI thinks. Coalesce. What's that do? Wraps the subquery in a coalesce function, which will return unknown if the subquery returns null. No, thank you. That's not what we want. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Select username equals village.player.id. Where's it getting the V from? That could be a problem. Where VID equals as integer. Village V. Or it's going to give us a village ID. It's not great. We want to know who won. That's all we want to know. I did make this data is kind of not the best. It's a little complex. You know, we should also probably restart. Hey, look at this. It might work. Revealed battle. In Bragville 1. Let's get rid of this line. We don't care about the village ID. One zero wood. All right, I think we're to a pretty good point where we can actually start doing the UI for this. We've been going for an hour and a half, and we kind of have our data ready, which is pretty cool. I kind of need to stand though. So maybe I'm going to take a second here to mute and make my standing desk stand. I think that would be good. How about, don't you think that'd be good? I think so. Oh, I don't need to look at my email. Okay. I will mute so that you do not have. All right. You should be able to hear me once more. Again. Okay. Let me know if you guys are joining, if you have any questions about what I'm doing. I am making a game and I'm adding the activity feed. Let's cancel that. All these events that are happening on the blockchain, gather food, attack village, reveal, chop wood, all this, we want to be showing. We got this big query that is now working. So let's go ahead and commit this. We're getting there. We're making it happen. Updates to the global events query. Okay. So now let's jump to the UI side over here. Interesting. They had an error there. Yeah, I shouldn't have an error on that. Okay, run start. So have this up and running. Okay, so now we're not in the indexer. We're in our Stoke Fire. We're going to add a new tab. We're going to call it activity.tsx. And it'll probably look somewhat similar to our relations table kind of idea. So at least to start out, and it's going to scroll, so that's cool. So let's just take this to start out, because we'll want all this stuff. We don't care about updates. But yeah, we'll start with this. We'll call it activity. Then we can add the screen to our tab view. Activity. Can you make this be a good icon for an activity page? I just love kind of making this faster. Look, just use the list icon. I don't even know what icon library that is. I have no idea. Let's see, is this working now? It is, look, activity. So we have our activity page right now. It's just showing our updates. We've got some random errors going on. Not really sure why, but we'll ignore that for now. Okay, so all that's working. We've got our activity page, and we can make a hook that will go and grab all of our stuff. I want to grab our stuff here. So let's go to components, hooks. We'll call it use activity feed.ts. Like that. And let's go ahead and tell our AI assistant to do some work for us. Let's see. Create a hook using SWR that will go and fetch our activity feed from our API endpoint at, let's see, it's /global events. Am I right? Is that where we're at? Global events. On the GraphQL API endpoint. That should be enough, hopefully, to get us started, and then we can kind of edit things. So it's thinking GraphQL, which is not. But I can understand why it would think that. Because we use GraphQL. Normally, this is our first time using like the API function. So yeah, it's kind of completely wrong. Yeah, like this is using the GraphQL endpoint here, using the fetcher. Let's see. So it's actually not using GraphQL. It's should be hitting the endpoint, and we should mention the file name at indexer /source /API global events. Let's see if that will help us fix this up. Look at that. It now knows the data type using SWR, global events, page size, page number, using the fetcher. I think the fetcher will work. This fetcher is set up in our utils right here. And this is hitting our GraphQL endpoint. So yeah, this should work, except it's a get method, not a post. So maybe what we'll have to do is update this. I really don't want to change that. Maybe we'll copy this and just make a new file, because I like that we don't have to pass any params into this when we're using this. So maybe we'll make a new one and call it a get fetcher. Maybe this is a bad idea. I don't know. And then in our hook, this is looking pretty good otherwise. Let's go ahead and apply that, except use our get fetcher. Need to call it something different. There we go. All right, so global event, what should we call this? We should call this activity event. Activity event. And we're setting up the page size, page number. Let's start out with like a page size of 100 maybe. And yeah, I'll have to figure out what's the best way to actually have like a scrollable feed where it's going and grabbing stuff. There's probably some like library that'd be better to use for that, but we'll see. Events is loading mutate. Cool. All right, so now we can go up here and do use activity feed. Let's get rid of this. We can then map through this. I kind of just want to copy this over so I can reference it, because I'm about to tell the AI to do something different here. Events is possibly undefined. So let's just do, for now, we'll do if not events, then we'll return something like that. Okay. Now the AI update this UI to show each event. For each one, it should say, should show the PFP of the player and their username. It should show the event description and then say the event time that it happened at. All right, gonna update this. Nice, seems decent. We're using width, which is maybe wouldn't use width. Use PFP instead of the image. We already have a PFP component that handles PFP as well, so I can throw that in there. I can edit that a little bit. All right, that's pretty good. Except so let's see, can you use day.js to show how much time in hours, minutes? Yeah, hours and minutes since this event happened. Import that. Apparently does not even exist. To, is it like since? Let's see. Digest docs. time from now. Dot from now. That's should be cool. Do we have the relative time plugin? So maybe this will work. Import relative time. And then we do this extend thing. And then from now. So do this dot from now. There we go. That might work. Username, we'll put an @ there. This might not look quite right, but we will see. We will see. Okay. Might be getting something wrong here. Data. If we look here, yeah, whatever returns should just be the lists of events. Okay, maybe, oh yeah, we're not running our indexer, so that's a problem. I'm not getting any events. I think our indexer is messed up again. Let's see if we actually index. Here we go. Now we should have some events. 16 events, 35, 43 events. So now, and, oh, come on. We're hoping for something there. Still getting null. So maybe something with this hook. It's not quite up to par yet. Oh yeah, this page size, I don't think that's actually true. I don't think we do anything with that right now. If we go to our indexer. Yeah, we're just hard coding that. Okay, let's check out Ponder docs here. We can do this account : and then we pull it that way. So we'll do one for page size. And we'll do one for, so this would be like page size, and then page number. Can remove these. We could do like if no page size or no page number. Return c dot request dot response dot JSON error no page size or page number params. $400 status. Okay, why is it mad? Expect 0 arguments. We need to probably cast these or parse them. Maybe afterwards. I switched those, didn't I? Let's see. Zero, we got 1. JSON. Is that the same thing as doing down here? Returns C. Oh, dot JSON. My bad. Okay. So now we need to do page size and page number in the fetch here. So instead of this, it will be page size, page number. And maybe, just maybe that will work. Still getting null currently. Trying to think what that would be, what I'm doing wrong here. Maybe we can get a little bit more error handling here. If we do a try catch and see like what the error is. Return otherwise. Return null maybe would work. I'm not sure. Get fetcher. It has to return a fetcher to work with SWR, so this might not work. GraphQL endpoint Should be the right endpoint. And then we were just hitting slash global events. So that should be right. Let's just make sure if I hit this. Oh, what? So that's not found anymore. Oh, yeah. Because now we've got to do page size what? Page size 50 and 1. To the routes. Page size param. It's not defined. Oh, so I'm doing something wrong there. Maybe. Page size, page number. Thought that's what the doc said. Address. That should work. Why? Is not defined. On number 8. Don't know why that would not be defined. Why is page size param not defined? Yeah, let's see if this logging helps us whatsoever. But that doesn't have that. Dot, what do we have here? Param, parse body, queries, query. Queries, I would think, would be under. I would think that would be if you did like a question mark, stuff like that. It's not showing us anything there. Maybe we need to restart this. That could also be our problem, potentially just having to restart this correctly. There we go. So now we've got some data. So now if we try to re-hit this, it's not logging anything out here. Okay, now it's working. Okay. So it's at least working. We had to reload dev. That was the problem. But we're still not. Okay, here we're now logging stuff. This route, we don't care about this. Don't care about that. So now the question is, how are we calling this in our hook? Page size, page number. So we're passing in nothing, but it has defaults. So that should be working, I think. Let's see if we're doing anything wrong here. Data's null. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Let's see. Why is it not loading? It's going slow for some reason. Just having all kind of issues right now. Let's restart this. Got a little bit of cold coffee left. It's like privy loading isn't working now. Having all kinds of issues. Shouldn't be hitting that. Anvil, this is our local blockchain running. That shouldn't be having issues. Well, if this doesn't work, then this is, starting to be kind of boring here. We need to get this working. It would be cool if I could just show you, finish the stream. We're just showing you we've got the activity working. All right, maybe we need to stop this and kind of restart the whole app here. And maybe that will work. There we go. For whatever reason, need to restart that activity. Still getting nothing. For get fetcher. Wait a second. Whoa. This is our problem. What is this doing? Stringify query? That's not, we don't need that. Well, maybe that's part of the problem. That wouldn't really be a huge issue, I don't think. But let's see what our response is here. So maybe we're doing something weird there. So looks like maybe we're getting some extra data potentially. All right, well, if we let's then log that out. before we return it. Maybe it's still just not getting anything. All right. Trying to make this work. All right, response. No. It's not making sense to me why this getter is not working. But we are working here. GraphQL endpoint, which is that. Oh, wait, did I add something? No, so the GraphQL endpoint should be this, which matches. So that should be fine. Maybe we're hitting. Maybe the way I'm doing this, let's just ask what endpoint is this hitting? Maybe that / global events on what endpoint? Gefetcher. It's like, let's see if use WR. I want to see if I'm using the right. Let's go to SWR docs. Yeah, so it does that. So the first param should be just the endpoint added on to whatever we did in the fetcher. So that should be right. Yeah, this should be right. And then we pass that. And then we just use the get fetcher. I wouldn't imagine, I mean, this header should be fine. I'm not sure what I'm missing here. Can't wrap my brain around it. That's a good idea. I should be able to see as well. JSON parse. Interesting. It's not able to parse. I wonder why. So something in the data is bad, which we were seeing that too with our error events. Something in the reveal errors or something. Yeah, this reveal battle syntax error. It's getting the same JSON parse error. So maybe something's just bad with our data. We have 9 of those reveals. Wonder if so something we could do is in our constants, we turn this to be production environment. No, we just need to comment out this, and then it would pull stuff. Actually, that won't work because we don't have that. Our new function is not live, but I was going to see if maybe just our data on production is working better. And Expo Go just quit. So I have these get events here, and this is also failing. This right here, which is querying the fetcher. I feel like it's possible I'm using SWR wrong somewhere. So where else am I using that? It's using it for these queries. And just passes the fetcher. It's stringifying the query. So I technically don't need to. Oh, I think I am definitely doing something wrong with my other fetcher, because I'm not adding anything here. Like we need to have like an endpoint. Yeah, I don't think I was thinking through that. We need to have like an endpoint here. Add that onto this. Kind of was just not thinking about any of this. And then we could do something like endpoint. And that might get us our endpoint. And then we JSONify it and all that. Hopefully this brings in this and kind of plops it in as the parameter. Let's see if I'm doing that right. Over 2 hours, and we are so close to getting something working here. We did have that other error though too, which is a little weird, that keeps popping up. No. Still not able to get that. Okay, if we look at how USWR is being used, we got our fetcher. I wonder. Do they have an example of a fetcher here? In SWR, what should a fetcher look like? Because I feel like mine's wrong. Fetch URL. Yeah, URL. Should have the URL right there. And then it just gets the response.json. And that is like what we're doing. Oh, I think I'm passing in that slash. So that might be an issue. Oh, look at that. So we're still getting some reveal battle event errors for some reason. 55 years ago. I think that's partially because this is running on this blockchain data that started a while ago. Okay, we got something. We have something. So if you stayed this long on the stream, you've finally seen that we've gotten something to work here. Inbrag minted a village. Inbrag chopped 2 wood. Heoli minted a village. I think we're going in the wrong direction though. This is pretty cool though. It's not exactly how we want it. I think we'd rather have it just be a full string. And maybe this is on the right. So we can edit that a little bit. But I think this is probably a pretty good place for me to stop the stream in that we've gotten pretty far. We made the whole query. We got all the data. We're having it kind of create our event strings, which is pretty cool. And now have some visual to show for it. And they'll just be able to scroll through these. Eventually I'll have to make it like an actual scroll view with pagination. So pretty sweet. So thank you for joining along. This is fun. David, yo, I'm playing the game. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for showing things as you go. Glad you're playing it. I'm trying to think. Maybe you have a different account. I'm not sure which account you are in our actual Stoke Fire game right now. Oh boy, I just got attacked. We're going to have to reveal this. Reveal what happened in Stoke Fire. I got attacked. So I have my little reveal pop up here. Let's reveal the results. Let's see what happened. Hoping that I won. We'll see. Obtainer attacked and stole 4 wood. I just lost 4 wood. So sad. Well, that did not work out. We now have 0 wood, and I only have 4 hours to stoke my fire or my village dies, so I'm kind of getting to the edge. I'm kind of getting to the edge here. But if I did stoke the fire, I would actually get some points right now because I have enough food. I have 50 villagers and I have 65 food. So that's good news that we have enough food for this round, this time. So yeah, thanks, David. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Yeah, curious to hear what you think. If you have any feedback of things you'd like to see or add or do differently with the game. 'Cause yeah, it's fun making progress on it. Hopefully we can keep going here. So, well, I think I'm going to probably end the stream here. It's been 2 hours and 10 minutes. We made some good progress. I think I'll have this activity feed like done by today, hopefully. Just kind of have to organize it a little better, make it look good. So yeah, should be cool. And I will see you guys in another stream. So thanks.